This video is brought to you by Factor, a meal delivery service that brings you fresh, ready-to-eat meals straight to your door, and it can save you so much. What can it save you? Not only will it save you a trip to the grocery store, but it'll also save you on food waste, because all of Factor's meals are prepped and ready for you. Speaking of prep, it can also save you all that time you'd spend prepping meals or washing dishes. Sorry, I'm actually gonna wash this dish real quick. In fact, it can save you so much time on cooking, because as I said, they're all packed and ready for you to eat within 2 minutes. You just gotta pop it open, puncture the plastic a little bit, and into the microwave. 2 minutes. And if you go to factor75.com and use the code 50bento at checkout, you can get 50% off your first box, plus free shipping. So thank you, Factor, for saving me so much time so I can spend that time on things that matter most. Yo, play the objective, donkey brains! This is ranked, not preschool. Welcome back to the Talkcast Podshow, where we're going to be talking about more superheroes.
God,
that's what media is today.
Yeah, no, look, I don't want to talk about superheroes all the time. I would rather spend this time talking about, like, I don't know, Mickey 17 or...
Still haven't seen that.
It's good. You should. I'm seeing the Looney Tunes movie tomorrow.
I do want to see that. I do want to see that one.
You know what?
That one I actively want to see.
After we've both seen it, let's talk about that, okay? Because we gotta
talk about Looney Tunes.
We gotta stop with the superheroes, man.
There's so much.
There's so many.
So much, so many, all the time. But the problem is, a lot of it is good. Like, Invincible Season 3, solid.
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty solid season. I think I might like this season a little bit more than Season 2.
I would agree. I would agree on many fronts. It packed a lot in this season, man.
Yeah, in fact, it's kind of hard to remember.
The latter half is just fucking massively packed.
I might say a little bit to its detriment, in my opinion.
You think it's just like a little too weird? Like, because the second half of the season was like banger after banger, I felt like.
Yeah.
Maybe like episode 5 of season 3 was like a little slowish, but I don't know.
Wait, which one was episode 5?
It was, yeah, what was it? So the last one we left off on was the time traveler with the immortal, that whole plot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that next part, that's when they were thinking about getting an apartment. More with Oliver, Machine Head. Then again, that was the Titan one with the Triad and stuff. So
yeah, honestly,
that one was also pretty good.
Yeah, I really loved that episode. In fact, that was probably one of my favorite episodes of the season, just in that we got to follow up on some old plot lines, like with Titan, who I love, and I'm so glad we're finally seeing more of him. We get to learn more about the criminal syndicate that's being run. We finally get to find out what's up with the old man, and
and the fact that he showed up in season 1.
Yeah. And Machine Head is back, who is always a blast. I love Machine Head. He's such a dick. He's the worst.
His weird little auto-tune voice.
Yes, he's so funny.
And Titan just continues to be like, I mean, he's just kind of like street cred personified. Like he's got his neighborhood under control in a way that it's like he's just benefiting the place.
Yeah.
And he tries to show that to Invincible. It's like, hey, look, sometimes you go beyond the law, and this is what you can do for a place.
It is a really interesting parallel of, hey, Mr. Vigilante Superhero, you want to talk about working outside the confines of the law? Hey, why don't you work for the government? Why don't you work for an official institution? Are you signed up with anybody? No? You're just working pro bono? Oh, well then maybe don't come into my neighborhood, which I'm making better, and try to tell me what the fuck to do.
Yeah, and the place is like night and day compared to when Machine Head was running the city.
Yeah,
Like, they used to be setting tenement fires. Now the place has nice public parks. People can walk outside. And everybody is on Titan's side.
Yeah.
Like, when Invincible's trying to chase him down, you have that scene where he's, like, in a hoodie, but then there's everybody else in hoodies. And it's like, what you gonna do, bitch?
Which also, by the way, wow, putting him in a gray hoodie like that, that's some commentary to be made there.
A bit so.
But yeah,
that was a good one. And we continue to see that there are several things out there that can just kind of pump the brakes on Viltrumites.
Yeah. So what we do know at the very least about Mark is that while he is very strong, and he's even strong in terms of Viltrumite standards, he is not that strong. He's
incredibly durable.
Yeah.
His willpower is what keeps him, like, invincible. That's what makes him invincible.
Yeah. It's also, I also found it very interesting that we are getting this whole story with him and Adam Eve basically starting a pro bono
not pro bono, it's for profit.
I'm sorry, not pro bono. I meant independent. An independent like superhero agency, specifically to, like, hey, look, your prisons either are being attacked from the outside or people are escaping from the inside. You obviously need somebody looking over this shit. And I always forget Cecil's whole industry.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I know, right?
He just works at the Pentagon.
Yeah, parking and rear. I always forget the agency that he works for. Hold on, I'm just gonna pull it up.
GDA?
I think it's the GDA. Yeah, Global Defense Agency. Yeah. So the GDA is not providing you nearly enough security. They've got an anti-teleportation force field. So what? Like,
and the Guardians of the Globe have consistently been getting worse and worse.
Can I just mention that, the Guardians of the Globe, man, like, we are getting the worst version of the Justice League out here. These guys, not only are they losing members left and right, but the members they've got left kind of suck.
Yeah.
Man, it's sort of hilarious, and at this point, it kind of makes me wonder what's going on with the rest of the people in the world, because they're also you're gonna call them the Guardians of the Globe, but you only have members seemingly from America.
I mean, one's from Mars.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, there we go. That's the diversity hire right there.
And the Immortal is from, like, ancient Bohemia.
That's still white though. So
he was Abe Lincoln in this universe's timeline. So.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, we have so many cool, amazing heroes from all over the world, and apparently none of them are the Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah, especially because we'll see later on that there are characters capable of taking down Viltrumites that are outside of the Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah, that's gonna.
We'll see that a little later. But the biggest question I had in this entire episode is the entire reason that they start guarding the prison is because they want to get an apartment. What's wrong with Eve's treehouse?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Woman, make your own place.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
she already did.
And it seemed like things were going great there. And she can
and you can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
You can make like a little cave house somewhere, a little geodesic dome.
Look, I'm not out here advocating for doing anything illegal. But you can turn an apple into a golden apple. You did it for your dad, and yet you're out here like, well, we got to get real jobs. And
that would be inflationary if you keep creating gold.
Oh, yes, I'm sure that two people technically one person and her boyfriend who supports her, making gold and then buying an apartment is going to crash the economy.
Yeah.
It's absurd. It's an absurd statement, and I get the idea. The idea is we want to show that these two are trying to be professional and responsible, and furthermore, they want to continue the theme of people balancing real life responsibilities with being a superhero. I get it. But it flies in the face of logic. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. The entire time I was watching that, I'm like, I can't buy this
Yeah, especially because Eve's treehouse is still out there. And with both of their speed, it does not take them very long to get to and from.
Actually, no, they went back to it, and it's just been overtaken by monkeys.
I mean, it's probably been overtaken by nature for sure. Like, you leave that long enough, it's going to happen.
Yeah, but there's just a bunch of bonobos having sex in there, and they're like, you know what? No, fuck this shit.
If they want to, even if the reason is they want to be closer to either of their families,
build a fucking
just fly to the treehouse to bone.
Yeah, also that, but also, again, you don't even need to build another, you don't even need the treehouse, just build another fucking place. You've been taking all these architecture lessons, and also there's got to be some, free plots of land. There's got to be something you can do that isn't getting a terrible job just so you can get a place. She can literally create shelter wherever she goes, and if she doesn't want it to be, permanent, she can deconstruct it afterwards. That's my main issue with the inciting events of this episode. We get to the good stuff with Titan and the Multi-Paul and the prison break. By the way, Multi-Paul breaking out of his cell by multiplying himself until the door pops open. Fucking brutal. I'm not sure that would work, by the way. I actually don't know if that would actually physically work. I mean, if you just fill the room with enough mass, but eventually something's going to break. Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm not even sure if those cells function the way that they're supposed to. I'm not sure something that strong could be pushed out with the force that would be created by that much mass. At some point, I think the bodies would give before the doors would, but that's just me. I mean, the bodies did give. I mean, I just don't know if that would. I'm not really all that caught up on it. I don't mind. I don't care. That was would that actually work? It does here, and it's pretty brutal, and it's a great use of his power. But again, I have to say this was completely undermined by the fact that why the fuck isn't he wearing a collar? Yeah. Why aren't all these? I mean, they threw one on him directly afterwards. Yeah. Why the fuck wasn't that on there first? Anyone with superpowers, it doesn't matter if their superpower is being able to turn silver into copper. I don't give a fuck. They shouldn't. My big wonder is, did something happen to the facility that held the Maulers when they broke out of that desert place? That place kind of feels like the place where you put motherfuckers like this. Yeah, supervillains. Yeah, why are they in this maximum security prison? In fact, did we not see him in there already before? I can't remember. No, I don't think we did. No. Why are they in this regular ass maximum security prison? In fact, I'm not even 100% sure this counts as maximum security at this point. It just feels really irresponsible. I mean, it's the same prison that Cecil went to when he was arrested too. So it's weird. What are we doing here? It's I can see it as a temporary holding facility maybe, but then we see Powerplex being fucking locked down. Yeah, you do that with that guy because he can fucking we'll get to him because he shows up in the next episode. But no, it's little things. It's little things here and there that just kind of the logic. I like this show. I like this story because it's just kind of funny when you think about it. It's why didn't they put him in a heavier duty place? I didn't have to think about it though. There are some things I'll give you okay, I'm overthinking this. This is not overthinking. This is very, very blatantly just a lapse in their judgment, which I don't think anything run by the GDA should make. Actually, the GDA is showing its ass all season. I am sorry. Holy shit. Way more than they did in seasons 1 and 2, and it feels like the writing is slipping, not the GDA. Yeah, I was on Cecil's side earlier, not entirely. By the end of this season, I'm like, bro. Oh yeah, no, we'll get to there. We'll get to that final one because that one is maybe the biggest, but yeah. Yeah, but we do get to see Mark fight a dragon, the same dragon his dad ignored while. Was it the same dragon? It was the same dragon. That's really funny. I never went back and checked. That's pretty good. Yeah, when he and Debbie are just out eating, he's like, Nolan, there's a dragon. Let Cecil handle it. I'm on vacation. Right. And he's just having this casual conversation. Just, good shit.
I am sad we don't get more Omni-Man and Alan throughout the rest of this season. Like, their part is basically done.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, not like it doesn't suck as in it makes the show worse. It just sucks in that I wanted more of them. I want to see more of their bromance like develop.
Yeah, I want to see their story continue.
Yeah. I'm suspecting that at some point they're going to come back to Earth, and I'm really, really, really waiting for that because I feel like
at some point.
Yeah.
Multipole ends up getting out because he's very tricksy. Like, I like the way he uses his powers to trick people and, like, get himself away.
Yeah, he definitely seems like a guy where what was her name? Duplicate. Where Duplicate definitely feels like she's very skilled with her powers. She feels like she's more, how do you say it? A little less sly than he is. He definitely, he definitely feels like he's been using this power to fight people more often and more aggressively, and it shows.
Yeah, they were both trained. One in like the criminal underground, and her by a government facility.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell the difference in their fighting styles. Mm-hmm. It's very subtle, but it's effective.
Yeah, and Machine Head this episode was just gold. Like, all of his, like, quips against, like, the criminals and, like, Titan. It's just like, okay, yeah, no, you can have your city. I'll take the rest of everything. Anybody else have a problem? That guy, like, he got my respect. Fucking asshole.
Yeah. It's great shit. Again, just the best. I'm so glad to see him again because, honestly, there was a part of me that just kind of wondered, are we never going to see Machine Head again? And if we don't, I'll live. But
I'm glad we got more.
Me too.
And meanwhile, we see that, like, Lou, I believe his name is, I guess he's also mystically immortal, as long as a piece of his soul exists somewhere.
Yeah, seems like it.
Because, like, they shoot his body, which dematerializes the dragon. So I guess it's like an astral projection, like a piece of his soul that he shoots out there. But if the body dies, it dies. But then we see that his bodyguard, the big buff dude, also carries around another fragment of his soul with him to like rebuild him or like revive him.
I don't love that, but whatever.
I don't mind it. It's like it's shades of Ra's al Ghul a little bit.
Yeah, I like for me, it's just kind of a matter of like, can we kill somebody?
It is a bit odd that the only people that die are people you like.
And also just, I guess we got the Maulers, which again, I
like the Maulers.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say we got the Maulers in terms of like a villain, right? And I'm wondering if they're even gonna stay dead at all because I still
if you'll recall.
believe.
Do you remember the weird little techno surgeons that Angstrom has?
Yeah.
There's a Mauler on one of their tables.
Was there?
I saw a big buff guy with blue skin.
Huh. Okay. I still think they just got a clone waiting in the wings. I feel like if I were the Maulers, I would absolutely have a duplicate situation at hand. Like if both of them die,
or you just have like a master copy, like in case both of these hearts stop beating, out another one.
Precisely. I don't know. That's just me.
I could see that, but it also kind of goes against their like, yeah, no, we tried having more than two once. Doesn't work out well.
Well, no, they tried having more than two in circuit.
Yeah.
So.
Either way, we'll see. I like the Maulers. I hope we get more of them, but if not, at least a death has stuck.
Well, there at least one death seems to have stuck this season, and we'll definitely get to that one.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, speaking of stuck deaths, this is all about, Mark dealing with his guilt over Chicago and how one character who held that grudge heartily. How did you feel about Aaron Paul as Powerplex?
First, I love the Breaking Bad casting in this season. We got Aaron Paul as Powerplex, and we also got Jonathan Banks as the Brit, a character who frankly does not belong in the show. I'm sorry.
He feels like he's like an old school G.I. Joe character
who had a part in the comics, but is
they just randomly, like, he just randomly shows up here out of nowhere when we need more heroes.
Yeah, it's really awkward. I don't love him.
I don't mind it, but it's also just because we haven't had a lot of time to understand who or what the fuck he is unless you've read the comics.
Yeah, it feels like, hey, there's a lot of importance being put on this new guy out of nowhere. Okay, whatever.
What I think, like, in-universe explanation, they keep losing heroes left and right, and when he shows up is the following episode, I believe.
Yeah.
When they need every all hands on deck. So, like, motherfuckers out of retirement, get over here. Shit's going down.
Well, we'll get back to him, but
yeah,
I love the Breaking Bad casting in here. Apparently, they've been trying to get Cranston. Cranston just keeps saying no, which makes me sad because I want Cranston in anything. But
he has such a great voice.
He does. He started as a voice actor. Like, he was in
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
He was the main guy for Macross Plus. Like, guy's done voice acting. So, but the casting for Aaron Paul as Powerplex was A+. No notes. Fucking stupendous stuff. I love Aaron Paul, and it's really good to see him in this kind of like dramatic but also kind of pathetic role.
His deliveries are very unique.
Yes.
Like, you don't get another performance out there. It's one of those things where it's on the cusp for me. It's like anybody else delivering this, and I think it would be weird, but like with that delivery, but with Aaron Paul's voice and just like the type of characters he's played, I'm like, there are times where I'm like, that might not be the direction I would have gone, but I respect the choice.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of reminds me a little bit of how I feel about Adam Driver whenever he shows up. Like, Adam Driver is definitely one of those actors who I feel like anybody delivering things the way he was, with that face, with the way he looks, most of the time I feel like this guy's a dork, but there's something about him that's selling it. This authenticity, this emotionality that is so...
he's very good about pulling out that angry, sad emotion. Aaron Paul is great at that.
Yeah, and I'm really feeling that here with Powerplex, because everything about him, when he gets angry, he tries to put on this voice, but you can tell it's the character.
Yeah, this very performative voice!
Yeah, and it's perfect because he's just a guy. He's not this big badass superhero or the supervillain. He's a guy who's angry, who's sad, who is like this grief has consumed him.
Yeah, and he only has one place to point that anger, rage, and sadness, and that's at Invincible.
Yep.
Because he refuses to point it internally. He refuses to take responsibility for his own actions because doing so would make him the monster he hates.
Yeah, and specifically his responsibility for the shit he pulls as Powerplex.
Exactly.
Yeah, because as Powerplex, so okay, now here's maybe the most inexcusable oversight for the GDA for me. How the fuck did he get that tech out of there? Insane to me that he was able to get the tech out of there. The GDA should have lockdown on every single one of its employees.
Yeah, especially if they did which they must have done a background check on him to know what his capabilities are.
His
ability to store up electricity, and then giving him access to these like batteries that would allow him to supercharge that.
Not only his background as a superhero, not superhero, as a superhuman.
Modified human.
Yeah. His background as a modified human, but beyond that, and I'd say more importantly, his history. The man lost his wife and child, or no, his sister and niece in a terrible act, like in Chicago. He's compromised, top to bottom. He is not fit for this fucking job.
You know this man's written a manifesto. He has constantly gone after like civil and criminal cases to try to pull some justice on Invincible, but he's protected by the GDA, so he somehow gets a job at the GDA?
Yeah, no, it makes very little sense. Again, I like this show, and I like the way that it's trying to give us a story. Like, I'm excusing some of these things.
It's very Golden Age comic book logic.
Yes, I'm excusing some of these things because I want the story to be able to tell, like, I want this series to be able to tell the story that it's telling, but I'm not...
This also might be a case of, kind of to Mark's point, Cecil's blind side. Fuck it. His blind side of wanting to take people who are motivated by something and utilize that. This guy's motivated to create weapons to fight Viltrumites.
So that part is true. I can absolutely see why Cecil would look at this dude and think, oh yeah, a guy who's dedicated to wanting to take out the strongest people on Earth, we definitely need that.
Yeah, especially one who has now shown that if he wants to, could fuck up the entire GDA.
Yeah, honestly, I won't lie. If there was a subplot where they knew what he was doing, and they're like, hold on, I want to see where he's going with this, I would have been like, oh, okay, that is about maybe a little lower than the level I think the GDA would sink, but at least it would it would explain the huge leap in logic we've seen. Mm-hmm. But no, we don't even get that. It's literally just incompetence, and that bothers the hell out of me, because he should, like, regardless of the background, even if we can excuse the background, which, okay, fine, I can see Cecil making that exception. There's no way he should have been able to, one, get that tech out of the fucking building, and two, the moment that it was, like, they should have all of their people under surveillance. Not, like, full 100% all of the time, but the moment he showed up in public, they should have been like, that's one of ours, and that's our tech, and we need to get him now.
I think they did, like, essentially, like, establish that's like, that's our shit. Can we get the Guardians on this?
Yeah, but also, it took them way too long. Like, way, way too long.
Yeah.
Like, when, I'm not even sure that they knew it was him when what's-his-face showed up.
Shapesmith?
Shapesmith. Which, man, I don't know why they don't use Shapesmith more.
He's fun.
He's fun. Maybe it's Ben Schwartz, but then Ben Schwartz doesn't cost that much money. I don't know.
He's Sonic, man. Then again, knowing him, like, he just likes doing fun shit for the hell of it. I think he did Sonic, like, the first one on, like, almost pro bono.
Yeah.
Until they got a budget.
And even when they got a budget, the amount that he makes off of Sonic is criminal.
I'm sure he makes more now, but either way, I liked his whole tirade, just trying to get Invincible's attention, calling him out, and like he said, like during his actual rant on the streets when it's doing the title drop, it's Invert, so bring me Bert.
Yeah, that was very funny to me. A+, no notes. Because it really helps to highlight that this man is both a threat and sort of pathetic. And he's supposed to be. Like, again, he's not this.
He's one of the easiest people to counter, to circumvent.
Yeah.
Restrain him. That's it.
But it's, and it kind of helps to balance out the episode. Like, the first half is a little funnier. There's obviously some tragedy there. And it's really trying to find this balance between the comedy and the just sheer depressing reality of it.
Mm-hmm. And Aaron Paul is a great actor to choose to pull that off.
Exactly.
Because he's played so many, like, great comedic characters, in BoJack Horseman. Like...
I was going to say, what was... Oh, God, I feel bad. What was his name from Breaking Bad?
Jesse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's played great comedic roles like Jesse from Breaking Bad, and great dramatic roles like Jesse from Breaking Bad. Exactly. Like, he is the perfect guy. He knows how to find that exact... Not only can he do the balance between the really serious stuff and the really funny stuff, he can mix them perfectly. And that's so good. It's so good here.
Yeah, and like Todd from BoJack. Yeah. Even the moments where Todd gets serious, it's like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. And that also comes down to BoJack just being one of the most well-written shows of all time.
It's a very well-written show. I could talk about BoJack forever.
God, how have we never done an episode about BoJack?
We can talk about BoJack sometime. I'm due for a rewatch.
God, oh my God, if we do season reviews of BoJack, just go through season by season, I'm 100% down for that, but I will be depressed. I will be. Let us
know in the comments. We can get more depressed.
Yes.
How depressed do you want us?
We can always get more depressed.
How sad do you want it? But, going on the lighter side, we also got some cute moments this episode where Rudy finally finds a way to halt Monster Girl's curse.
Yes. Yeah. which we've kind of been taking a back seat on a lot for the last several. We had him talking about trying to find a cure for it, and then nothing, and then finally, boom, out of nowhere. Which I'm not.
It seems like something he's been doing a lot of research on in the background, and also he's trying to develop. He's trying to be more, I guess, he's trying to be more empathetic, but in that very robotic way. Where he's like, and I'm not trying to fix you, and if you don't want it, that's perfectly fine, because he can't read how she's feeling, because to him it's because her entire thing with him is you can't just program a person, you can't just fix a person, but he's trying his best to help her, and finally he sees this as she might see this as me trying to fix her, and she's like, no, you cured me, and it was one of the sweetest damn moments in the show, and I actually really liked their relationship.
Yeah, I do think there's definitely this moment of, for her, there's definitely this element of not wanting to be a problem. She doesn't want people to look at her and see the curse. She doesn't want to be, I think it's like a lot of people with, say, disabilities. They don't
or a terminal illness.
Yeah, they don't want to be seen for that disability. They don't want to be seen for that illness. But you sure as shit bet that if they could get rid of it with no strings attached, fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah. Absolutely, and it's such a cute moment, and we also get Ray and Rex as their relationship develops, and I know they actually gender swapped Ray from the comics, so this relationship
kept her alive.
Yeah, for very specific emotional beats like this. So we get this, goddamn, I was looking at this, I'm like, there's a death flag waving here, and I'm not sure which one, but I think it's Rex as I'm watching this episode.
So one thing I want to note, by the way, just a side note, it's really funny to me that in the comics, we only very recently got the whole body swap with Rudy. Because that happens later in the comics than it does in the show. So technically, comics Rudy is way faster at coming up with a cure than show Rudy.
Oh, for sure.
But anyway, that was just something I had in my mind. So Rex and Ray are very interesting to me because they're the only relationship in the show that I 100% like and feel the chemistry of.
Monster Girl and Rudy, I'm also for.
I think that they're interesting. They're very interesting.
I'm sorry, I love their dynamic. The very emotional, very worldly Monster Girl and the strictly logical but emotionally vulnerable Rudy. I love that. That's a great dynamic.
I think they're interesting to me. I'm very interested in them. I'm wondering where they'll go. In terms of a healthy relationship, I'm not 100% sure. Mostly because I've got some fears about Rudy. I think there's more going on there than he's letting on.
He is again, I haven't read the comics, so don't spoil me.
No, me neither. I've only read up to here.
I feel like he's absolutely going to have a villain arc.
That's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm hoping
there's going to come a point where he sees no, the only way to get around this is this, and it's got to be like this. It's the only logical solution.
The line that he says about having to stick with Invincible because Invincible is technically the stronger force, that
I might need his help someday.
Yeah,
which is very pragmatic, but also the man is Rudy is very much out for himself.
Yeah, the way that sits with me is just making me think there's going to be a storyline at some point where he does some shit.
Yeah, I think he believes in the greater good, but what his greater good is defined specifically by him. So
yeah, but beyond that, I like the let me be clear. I like their storyline. I wouldn't change a thing, to be honest. But for me, Rex and Ray were the couple where I was like, oh my god, I love you two together, and I want you two to just keep getting better. All I want is for you two to just kind of make this happy life with yourselves. And he's gonna die. He's gonna die.
Oh, for sure. I saw death flags waving there. And
in fact, that is the one thing I'll say about their relationship that actually fully bothered me was that at some point I realized, oh god, they're gonna kill Rex. Like, the fact that I know that Shrinking Ray wasn't in the comics, like, oh, well, technically was in the comics but wasn't kept alive to be a relationship with Rex. The fact that they're doing all of this really kind of feels like we're getting, at some point he's gonna die, and oh boy. Oh.
Yeah. But they did have like the most organic relationship. It felt like their flirtations were very natural, and that comes down a lot to the actors.
And I like it because they're kind of a little combative with each other. Like, they're not full on disrespectful, but they bounce off one another in great ways because she's very no nonsense and he's a fucking joker.
Yeah, and it also comes at a point where he's reflecting on his past a lot. Not only did he just survive a near-death experience, but now he's literally back in his old home, seeing his old room all trashed and disgusting because he didn't take care of it because he was a fucking teenager. Like, so he's like, wow, man. So, like, he's just growing as a person, waving these death flags left and right, having a healthy relationship.
Yeah. And
ordering from our sponsor, no. I don't know. Are we sponsored? Maybe it was a Factor meal.
Yeah,
maybe it was a Hungry Root meal. I don't know.
we are sponsored for this one. If I remember, no, we might. Are we? We might be. Huh.
Probably. I don't know. Either way, they ordered from one of our lovely meal box sponsors. Made a meal. That's the B plot this episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's cute as fuck.
Yeah.
I love that shit. I love that shit. And see, this is what I'm like. This is one of my favorite parts of Invincible, is when we get these really human moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, I mean, like, the rest of the episode is Powerplex just trying to get Invincible's attention. Invincible just missing the parts on television where he's calling out his name. Just in the, I don't need to pay attention to this. Somebody else will handle that. I'm sad right now. I love Shapesmith's bit where he, like, shows up. I was like, I want Invincible! Okay, well, how about this?
Yeah, it's good shit.
And just, I love the way I like how his power is activated. Like, he needs kinetic force. Kind of like, what's Cyclops' brother? Havoc?
Oh shit. I think it's Havoc.
Yeah, you like, or whatever Kevin Bacon's character
Havoc.
was in
Havoc.
That he wasn't Havoc. Havoc was
No,
Cyclops' brother.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's Havoc. I was just saying.
Yeah. But whatever, Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class, how if there's kinetic energy, he can take that and redirect it. That's essential, like, he's able to absorb it and turn it into electricity, turn it into energy.
Yeah.
So the way he initially activates his powers is by jumping off a building. Like, I'm like, shit, okay, that's hardcore.
Initially, the way that he tests his, like, because he knows he can do it before. Like, he practiced it a little bit, and, like, he wasn't able to do a lot with it.
I'm wondering how much damage he can take. Like, there's got to be an upper limit.
Yeah, that
you see, like, he takes the hit. Like, he's like bracing himself when he jumps off that building.
Yeah, and he gets back up, apparently completely unharmed.
Yeah,
and so that's very interesting. That makes me wonder, hey, what would happen? Like, because if I remember correctly, later on in the episode when he gets hit in the face, I do remember seeing blood.
Yeah.
So he can be damaged. So
like, there's an upper limit to it. And, this entire time he's trying to go after Invincible. He misses on the first one, gets away. I guess the GDA just doesn't track him from there. Like, he beats Shapesmith and gets arrested, right? I remember No, that's after Eve gets him.
If I remember correctly,
because he crashes the Chicago Monument.
No, so when he fights Shapesmith, he does electrocute him and gets away.
Yeah, and then he shows up at the monument, like the ceremony, to be like, okay, you gotta be here. And Eve's like, you don't have to deal with this. I'll deal with it. And she deals with him the smart way by just restraining him. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And it's also kind of interesting because there's a part of me that's wondering, hey, Mark, just go out there, dude. Like, you should go out there. This
real.
guy, yeah. And I'm wondering if people were giving him just the wrong, not just,
Because he wanted to face him. People were like, no, don't go.
yeah. And I'm wondering, was that just bad advice? Not like,
Yes.
not just after the fact. Like, obviously, oh shit, he should have. Should he have even prescriptively? Should he have done that because, hey, this man is looking for you. Maybe there's a reason. And I don't know. It does make me wonder if it was his moral responsibility to go out there. Because everyone else is like, you don't need to. You shouldn't. I'm like, I wonder if that's true.
Yeah, you're dealing with a lot right now. You're sad.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't think it's too cut and dry.
Eventually, he does show up after his wife and child pretend to be kidnapped by him. Just that whole ploy, create a trap for him. And that's what leads to Powerplex's ultimate downfall, in that he will not let go of this grudge, no matter how much Mark's just like, hey, look, just let them go. We can talk this out. We can do something. No, I want to kill you. He lets his power boil over, and he fries his family.
Yeah. So, fuck.
Yeah.
This
show is not afraid to murder children.
Oh,
it
no.
Really isn't.
It isn't, and we'll see more of that later. Yeah, we don't get a lot of kid death in this show. It's not.
We get quite a bit later.
Yeah. It's been implied. We've seen aftermath from time to time, but we rarely see violence against children in the show actively on screen. And this was one of those times where it's like, yep,
you don't see the lightning fry them, but you see the charred skeletons.
Which is good. I'm glad we don't. I don't think I needed to see that.
It's like
happen.
people going into Oppenheimer hoping to watch a bomb go off.
Right? And so the whole scene is tragic and horrible. There is a part of me, and I'm sorry to kind of be a stickler on the scene, that I know a lot of people liked. Man, the animation in this show is rough sometimes. Because
they save it for some really good moments, though.
Fuck. They do, but if it weren't for this fucking showrunner wanting one season a goddamned year, I think we might be able to get some more of what we see in the later part of the season a little more often. And this was a really big emotional moment, and it kind of bothers me that we got such limited animation here. Like, it's really distracting just how bare bones this episode looks in a lot of places.
I'm still very much a normie. I don't notice if you point it out to me, I probably will notice, but if I'm just watching it and absorbing it, none of the animation in this episode bothered me at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it bothers you, you have a much more discerning eye for beautiful. I know when animation is beautiful, but to me, anything below beautiful animation, it has to get really, really bad for me to say that's not good.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it was really bad. I'm saying there was a lot more they could have done, and they didn't, and it was really noticeable to me.
Okay.
Because, that scene where he's pushing back against the lightning, and it's a PNG that's just being moved forward slightly, with his hand over his mouth so he can talk while he's doing it. And I'm like, this is the big emotional moment, and you have a PNG moving.
I guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and they do a lot to hide that. Like, there are a lot of animation techniques, we see throughout multiple industries. Anime does a lot of shit to kind of, smooth over the lack of actual motion on screen. Hell, there's this whole scene in season 2 where they talk about all the things that they do to kind of cut down on the animation so they can...
Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, which is...
Sometimes we'll cut to a far back shot so you won't even notice things aren't moving. And then we'll hide people's mouths so you can't see when we're to save on lip flap.
Wow, I never thought about that. Yeah, no, it's really clever.
Or maybe we'll cut to somebody who's reacting to the person talking.
And it's not bad. I'm not out here saying man, this kind of ruined the moment for me. But it is one of those times where it's like, hey, I'm getting taken out of the moment by seeing the lack of not effort, but time being given to big moments like this, where I think extra flourish would have sold this bit. It just kind of feels like we're getting a lot of bare minimum throughout this series, and that's a little frustrating for me because I want this show, when the writing is good and these moments hit, I want them to have all this gravitas, all this extra flourish, and we just don't get it.
Well, we get a lot of it in the next 2 episodes, because this episode ends with Powerplex locked up and just saying, like, I'll never fucking forgive you, because, again, the biggest thing I see people complain about is, like, but he's the one at fault, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. He can't admit that to himself. He can't admit that he's the monster, that his rage and his vengeance created this problem. Like, if he did that, it would break him mentally. So he has to focus all of his anger, all of his rage on the person that caused it to him. So,
and didn't even
we end with that, like, great. It didn't cause it, but
it's partly responsible.
It's the only viable target he has for this, and that's real psychology.
And the fucked up thing
that happens all the fucking time in the real world.
Yeah, and the fucked up thing is, like, if you look at the reality of the situation, there is no way that Cecil is going to let Mark get brought to court over this. There's no point. Like,
yeah, what are you going to do? Like, is Mark going to go to prison? How are you going to contain him? We've seen universes where they do, but there was a lot of effort that went into that.
Yeah, there's so much that goes in, like, there's so much that can't be held accountable when we're talking about these creatures that come from the stars and can literally destroy entire cities on their own. They're unstoppable beings, and the people here to protect them aren't working under the letter of the law. They're working within their means necessary to keep these creatures from destroying the planet, whether they be sentient, whether they be feral animals.
You can be the good guy, or you can be the guy that saves the world.
Exactly. Cecil is not here for the show trial, the circus that would essentially be trying to hold these people accountable under the laws of the land, which just frankly do not fucking apply here.
Yeah. Imagine they have him on trial, and then the events of the next episode where Angstrom Levy brings in, like, an army of Invincibles to fuck up the entire planet.
Yeah.
What do you do at that point? Do you continue the trial, or do you let the one that will try to save the world do it?
Yeah. And that's the whole interesting part, like the whole interesting dynamic about this entire thing is that Powerplex wants justice. He wants to see the system play out because he's outside of this. Like, he's either underneath the system or he's outside of the actual system. He
tried working with the system, but the system doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and it frustrates him because all he wants is justice for his sister and his niece.
And that's another real world frustration. Like, what do you do when the systems in place cannot properly handle the problems that, like, the real problems? What can you do when you have somebody that's so powerful that the justice system just can't prosecute them? That's a real world problem, legitimately.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite parts about Invincible. That's one of my favorite things is what is the reality of these situations and how do they play out? And the more we get of that, the happier I am.
Yeah. And of course we're left with Angstrom Levi and his army of multiversal marks, which, if we want to talk about a conflict of interest, what the fuck is up with Angstrom teaming up with the people that literally murdered his family in alternate timelines?
So this is a man who is teaming up with people he's inevitably going to betray,
or that will inevitably betray him.
Yeah, he was ready for both scenarios.
Yeah, which is funny when that comes to pass. But it is so interesting to me that he hates the one good Invincible so much that he's willing to help all of the bad ones.
Yeah, well, he has gone from a man who could be pulled off the ledge to someone who's just gone full on insane. He is so far beyond logic and reason now. And
well, there's like a million different hymns in his own brain.
Yeah, although at this point they've kind of coalesced. I would personally think into.
Yeah, he's a hive mind of himself.
Now, that being said, and I want to get this out of the way as soon as I can. I hate Angstrom Levy. I hate this motherfucker. God, he sucks.
You're supposed to.
No, I mean, I don't like him as a character. I think he sucks. I don't think he's got any gravity, gravitas. I don't think he's got any gravitas. I think that his story was well told in season 2, and we didn't need to return to it. He's just kind of lame.
I think he's an interesting villain because he is like. It's like Loki versus Thor. He has tricky magic and technology versus, Invincible's brute strength and power. I like that dynamic in a villain, where he's using his intellect and his strategy to face off against a far superior foe, and evening the ground with his tricks. It's fun to me, and I like the idea of the Invincible War.
You like the idea of it, or you like how it actually happened?
A little of both. Okay. Like there's parts that like I was very interested because we start seeing more characters from the actual comics show up in this. I can't remember what the Iron Man equivalent is, but we see that they have the ability to fucking kill an Invincible one-on-one.
Well, by the way, I just want to get my thought finished real quick.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Angstrom Levy. It's okay. My big personal problem with Angstrom Levy is just that he has no gravitas, so his presence here is this big bad for the season. And he kind of is the big bad here. He is the guy who starts we get the next episode, which I'll have more to talk about then.
It's hard to say there is a big bad this season. It's more like they're like mini arcs within the season.
True.
I'll cede.
But this has been the longest running play this season.
Yeah, he's been present throughout.
Yeah.
He's been the man in the chair, the mysterious man.
Yeah, and the moment I knew it was Levy, I got a little bit fuck. Because I really liked his story in season 2. I was perfectly fine with that story. Bringing him back was like, oh God, not him again.
I want to know how he survived that shit. His brain was spilling everywhere.
So that one I looked up in the comic, and if I remember correctly, he had a thing ready to get him if he died.
He had his little team of mecha surgeons, doom surgeons.
But fucking his body starts moving when he's dead, unless he programmed his body to do that. I don't know how that fucking works. But anyway, point being, I just don't I just wasn't satisfied with him being the guy to kind of come back and do all this shit. I'm just like, God, you're pathetic, man. You've lost all your logic. So there's not even the tragedy of that anymore. You just kind of feel like a guy who's angry and you've got these powers and you're being a dick. And I don't know, it wasn't compelling to me, especially considering that instead of it really undoing him at the end, he does kind of get he gets hoisted a little bit by his own petard when he loses, and then we have the whole thing with the mechanics, but it doesn't really feel like all of this was I don't know, it didn't work for me. Not the part with him. Everything else worked very well for me. I was a big fan of everything else besides Levy.
I see the point of his plan is to bring it to make everybody hate Invincible.
Yeah, no, I get the point of the plan.
Yeah,
I just I guess my point is he's not compelling. I just don't like him.
I disagree. I like him.
Okay, I mean,
as a villain, I like him. He's got that Lex Luthor meets Loki kind of thing going.
I guess I just hate his design too. Everything about him, it just feels so. What are you doing, man?
I like his new design more than I liked his old, weird, just man in a suit with a big fucking mullet brain.
But, okay, I think the reason I liked that was it was a great representation of what he actually is. Yeah. Just this crazy dude.
But now he's full-on supervillain.
Yeah. I kind of wish that he just had a better outfit then. I wish he'd had a better outfit and just a better...
You don't like his He-Man Masters of the Universe looking ass?
I really just don't like his design. So, and maybe that kind of just plays into it. But yeah. Ultimately, Levy can go on the side though, because everything else is way more important, honestly.
Big ups, by the way, to the God, who's the actor that plays Invincible?
Oh fuck! I always I always forget his name, and I don't know how
Stephen
I forget.
Yeun.
Stephen
Stephen
Yeun. Yeah.
Yeah, because he plays several different Invincible variants, all with their own different personality types and traits, and you can tell the differences between them, which I love. Like that's good. That's good acting right there.
Yeah.
Mwah.
A+ stuff.
You have like Omnivincible, who's just like very plain spoken. Like swearing doesn't make you cool.
I love their different personalities so fucking much, and he is my favorite. Omnivincible is fuck yeah.
Yeah, and then you have like the one that's essentially a Saiyan that just loves fighting. It's like, what? Oh man, I haven't had a fight like this since my dad. Oh, come on, bring it on. What did that one guy say? What did he say? He's like, oh, I can't believe I'm not gonna be alive anymore. It was hysterical.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I love it. The fact that he does this great impersonation of Ben Schwartz. I'm like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
First of all, the voice director, props to them, and yeah, props to Stephen Yeun, because goddamn, wonderful stuff, great variation, sells every single one of them. I just want to know who made the decision to give the one with the hood the southern accent, because there are layers there.
Yeah,
there are layers there, and I'm not sure if it was intentional, but damn, dude.
Yeah, all of the different Invincibles just fucking up the world. We did not get a Spawn cameo.
I heard Spawn was supposed to be in this, and I'm like, I looked it up afterward, and I am sad. I wanted Spawn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I killed you before. I'll do it again. Instead, I don't know the name of the character that he's actually fighting there, but it's like a wolf man, another He-Man looking character.
Apparently the wolf guy is from the comics, though.
Yeah,
so that's interesting.
Yeah, all the characters that we see in this are from the comics, including that Iron Man dude that 1v1's an Invincible in space, which, okay, where have you been?
Yeah. Okay, so remember what I said about how the Guardians of the Globe kind of feel like they're emaciated for no good reason? Yeah, we're seeing a lot of motherfuckers here. It's like, wait, you all can fuck. Where are you? Where have you been? What's happening?
Yeah, essentially the entire world is fighting Invincibles. The GDA gets one. Like, we see the levels they have to go to actually take down an Invincible, which is kind of cool. Like, that they through war of attrition, beat one of them. A war of attrition beat one of them. They beat the Invincible.
Which they are very quick to say, well, we obviously know that they're some Invincibles are weaker than our Invincible. Which I think is actually a good way to say.
I'm glad they stated that outright, because it makes sense that Mark can actually hold his own against two.
Yes, and I think it might be implied that this Invincible is the strongest Invincible now.
Well, he also got trained by the GDA, like, specifically. Like, they're like, okay, we need to pump you up. All of the others seem to be on the sides of the Viltrumites, possibly.
Yeah.
Like, all of them own their Earths, or have a destroyed Earth.
And yeah, in their universes, it doesn't seem like there's anybody that can stand up to them. So they don't do a lot of training. They don't do a lot of this. Like, they don't actually get that much stronger because they don't need to. Which I think, I love that. I love the story of our Mark,
the genius versus the underdog. You know?
Yeah, our Mark is so strong because he realized, oh shit, I have things I got to protect.
And there's a big threat coming, and I have to stand up to it.
Yeah.
Whereas some of these Invincibles, they're like, they followed Nolan, or just ended up winning and never had to struggle again.
You know what my favorite scene in the entire episode was? Those, I can't remember. Was it like 8 Invincibles? Like the last Invincibles. They're all like above their house.
Standing in a council
and talking to each other about their lives, and some of them hate this house. They never wanted to come back.
I miss my mom.
Yeah.
I miss Mom.
I miss
William.
Yeah, and it's like, hearing I miss William, weirdly, more than I miss Mom. Okay, yeah, it makes sense he misses his mom. He misses his best friend?
It's actually confirmed that Invincible was gay, too.
What?
Kirkman came out, I believe, and said it like that Invincible was gay in that timeline.
Oh.
Yeah, right?
Oh man, that's
somebody from the show came out and said it anyway. I remember, or at least I read that. So I might be wrong. That might be a misreporting. So
sorry,
but that's what I saw.
If that is the case, then that line might have extra. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, they're two gay guys, so obviously they got together. But also,
it is an extra wrinkle.
Yeah, that like. I don't even know why you would say he's gay then if that wasn't trying to implicate that. I don't know. That's just, man, that's sadder.
Right?
Oh, boy.
Like, all of the Invincibles had their own thing going on, which I liked. And, like, that little conclave they had above the house where, like, we see the differences between them. Some of them actually beat Nolan. Some of them killed their own mom.
Yeah. And it's great to see that scene because we get to see that the morality of each of one of these Invincibles is different from one another. Some of them are more violent. Some of them are less violent. Some of them regret some of their actions. Some of them do not. Mm-hmm. And I think my favorite one, and he's got the best design, is that black and yellow. He's
with the veil. Or.
No. He's the
Cape Vincible.
Cape Vincible, yeah. Oh my God, he is so, like, his presence there. You can tell, like, he's the leader here. He's also like a fucking raging asshole. Like,
he's also the one that we've seen in season 2. He's the one that we saw crush Angstrom. Yeah, kill Angstrom's, was it like wife or somebody right in front of him?
I think like wife and son. Or maybe
killed right in front of him. Snap neck.
Which that's bro.
Went and recruited that guy.
Yeah.
That's some balls.
You got to have a hate boner that is out of control.
Yeah, like Prime Universe Mark did some real brain damage to him for this to happen.
Right? And so it's wild shit. It's wild shit.
On the plus side, we do see that Powerplex does, in fact, have the ability to incinerate an Invincible.
Again, a good thing we implied that some of these Invincibles are just weaker because...
And this one was apparently dumb enough to just hit Powerplex all the time until Powerplex had enough power to charge through him.
Well, yeah, because he's never fought Powerplex before, so he doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And frankly... Apparently, a lot of these Invincibles who basically went with Nolan are idiots. And that makes sense. Like, big ups to Debbie. Giant ups. Worldwide W's to Debbie. Because in this reality, she is maybe the only person fully responsible for making sure that her son didn't just go fucking... like the rest of these motherfuckers.
Not only that, but continuing the arc with Oliver when he's just like, I need to go out there. I need to help people. She doesn't say like, don't go. I'm afraid to lose you. She's like, he can actually help. But please do not, like, if you run into trouble, get out of there. If you find your brother, make sure it's your brother.
Yeah. Again, Debbie is just the fucking best, which I'm so glad for because in the comics, she's not nearly this good. She just isn't. Like
she's pretty milquetoast in the comics a lot of the time.
Yeah, and a lot of her facial expressions are just kind of weirdly cunty. And I mean, like, yeah.
I'm still on like the early parts of the omnibus before the art gets a kick up, but
yeah, I genuinely just really like Debbie in this because she is a concerned mom who's doing her fucking best with a situation that is far outside of what any mom should have to deal with, and she's still killing it. God, she's so good. But yeah,
of course. And sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then Oliver goes out there, and there's okay. By the way, I'm Terminal Dragon Brain over here. Mm-hmm. Oliver running into the Invincible reminds me of that scene where Gohan finds Turles.
Oh yeah,
that's the first thing I thought.
Big brother, poof! What the hell are you?
Yeah, good shit.
I guess all these other universes, Nolan never fucked a bug, so
nope. Which this universe is wildly different.
And then we have like tentpole moment in this episode. Name's Gambit. Remember it.
Yeah, so again, I kind of wish the show hadn't leaned so heavily into the death flags. I wish this had come as a little bit more of a shock because I was waiting for it to happen. I was waiting for when
how it happened though was such a goddamn.
How it happened is this is one of my favorite deaths / like victories in the entire
sacrificial moments. Yeah.
Well, victories. Just this is my favorite victory like of a fight in the entire series because they made Rex. He was originally like one of the worst characters. I hated this guy.
Oh, pure asshole.
Then by the end of season 2, he jumped up in the ranks of one of my favorite characters. And in season 3, he was just up at the top the entire way through. He's up there with fucking Debbie and Cecil. I'm like, fuck yeah, I love these guys. Let's fucking go. Cecil, unfortunately, has dropped significantly.
Especially after the last episode.
Yeah. And as I'm following Rex, I'm waiting for the moment, but when it finally happened, it's just so goddamn strong. And
we get this whole scene with Mark tearing apart like the teen team headquarters or whatever the hell they're called now. It's like, come on, Rudy, I know you're in one of these. I can I can control these remotely. Yes, but I can also hear the fear in your voice. Drink. Oh, look at you. You're new. What happened to the weird troll thing?
Yeah. I fucking this universe is fucking weird. Yeah. This is like again, so many things have happened in this universe, which apparently has just not happened in other universes. Mm-hmm. Things. I am so curious if we ever find out if there was one particular thing that just like one bit of stardust just went off track at some point that caused the butterfly effect to make this universe so just different enough.
Yeah, at one point in each of these Invincibles' lives, one neuron fired the wrong way.
Yeah, and it's so weird and amazing to see the differences and the similarities too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Rex is such a goddamn boss. God.
Yeah, Rex is like, get everybody out of here. And he does. Like, gets everybody out of there.
Rex
we get to see Bulletproof try to fight, and it's like, no, you need to get people out of here.
Take you and your super obvious name. I love the fact that he has been throughout this entire season just making a point of, no, I literally don't know a life other than this. I have to be a superhero.
Yeah, I am Rexplode or I'm nobody.
Yeah, and there's a certain sadness to that, right? There's a certain sadness to the fact that this is all he's got. But on the other hand, there's actually there's some beauty in it too. He doesn't hate this life. He seems to actually love being a hero. He's not just locked into this because it's the only thing that he knows. He doesn't want to know anything else.
And he's good at it.
Yeah.
Like, he loves doing it. It at his core, he likes helping people, and while part of that might be from the acknowledgement of being a superhero, it's also the fact that he can make it's his way of making a difference.
And I think part of that definitely comes down to him realizing I've been a dick to people. Mm-hmm. I gotta be better. And then we see that a lot of that, him being addicted to people, was just his way of coping. But he finds that it's better for him to just kind of, oh gosh, fucking flying, god damn it. He finds that the better way to live his life is just be fucking nice to people. And immediately it's just like, dude, you're one of the best heroes in this entire show. I just want to follow you. I want an entire Rexplode TV show now.
Yeah, he does everything he can. He throws everything he has at
Invincible.
This version of Mark.
Yeah.
Tries blowing up the floor, and then finally he does the most badass thing possible. It's like, you're out of things to throw, idiot. What are you gonna do? I still have my entire fucking skeleton.
Yeah. Oh my god. And god damn it, man. Just why Rexplode? Why do you have to take our boy from us?
Apparently it was enough to do it too. So
yeah, which I've got some questions about. Why did an entire floor exploding not do it? but then his skeleton did it. Whatever. Okay. Maybe like he overloads it. Maybe it's because it's his body, and all that energy just gets let out.
The other question I have is like, can he not blow up other types of organic matter?
Well, his skeleton's not organic.
Yes, it absolutely is.
I think the idea is that his skeleton is technically not meat, which is the problem.
Okay.
Like, sorry, when I mean organic, I mean there are the problem is he can't blow up meat, and I think maybe vegetables and stuff. Actually, I have no idea. I don't know the limits of his powers, but apparently, maybe it needs to be solid matter that's not. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I'm not exactly 100% sure because
but whatever reason he can blow up bones, but not meat.
Yeah, I'm sort of curious like exactly how that works because we always see him like throw things like
coins mostly.
Coins or the little they look like glow sticks that he has. I'm not exactly sure what they are.
I feel like they're coin. I feel like they're coin rolls.
Are they
rolls of coins?
Huh. That's interesting. Because
that's what I always thought they were. Or at the very least they're tubes spring-loaded filled with coins, because that's what you see him flicking the coins out of. And then I guess when they're empty, he throws the clip.
Yeah. I just kind of expected that it couldn't be like much like with Adam Eve, that it had to be kind of an object that wasn't, again, like
can't mess with living matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But precisely. Bone are definitely living matter is all I'm thinking. So.
Yeah. I'm just guessing like there's enough there that's not technically meat.
Whatever. Either way, it's a cool moment.
It's a great moment. It's a fucking great moment. And yeah, he takes out like okay. Though I will say, why the song? Why the fucking song? Stop that! First of all, Invincible, your needle drops suck. Okay.
Sometimes they do. I like some of them.
Run the Jewels. Actually, all of the music with the Maulers, A+.
A majority of season 1 too. Like when Mark's first flying around, I love that shit. Shut up.
No. Look, that scene was all right, but man, it got old. It got old by season 2. I hate these needle drops. I hate them.
Look, they're no James Gunn. We'll say that.
Yeah,
James Gunn and oh god, who else does needle drops insanely well?
Zack Snyder.
Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright does great needle drops.
By the way, the Zack Snyder one was a joke.
I know.
All of his needle drops are terrible. But yeah, no, James Gunn and Edgar Wright do the best needle drops. This isn't okay. This show is not Zack Snyder territory, but damn it, is it close? I genuinely just like most of these. Again, a couple of them hit, some of them work, but a lot of them, like, oh god, the one with Adam, Eve, and Mark flying around.
Their romance song, yeah.
And then the one here, and it's just, I would rather lose all of them.
It doesn't take away from the moment for me, but it doesn't add to it either, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of like it didn't kill the scene for me, but it did take away a bit just to immediately go into this fucking song.
Yeah. Especially because like the episode ain't over. Like
no.
It moves on from there where, because I do like the way they framed this episode, the day 1, day 2, day 3 beats.
That was the right move.
That
was the right move.
The cut into day 3 where you see the fire in all of their eyes as they're standing in front of burned cities, like that animation. Whoo, boy.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of really cool framing here, a lot of great storyboarding. The show kind of has to live and die on its storyboarding at this point because the animation is often so limited.
Yeah. And then we have like the 2-on-1, or yeah, the 2-on-2 with Eve and Mark versus Omni-Vincible and Veil-Vincible, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's really cool to see. It's really cool to see Adam Eve having to go up against Viltrumites. Because, as we've seen, her power set is really great on taking on a lot of like normal mid-level villains. Viltrumites are essentially A/S tier.
Yeah, and there's a part of her that you're wondering, like, is there a part of her that's holding back because it's a Mark? Like, there's because she gets fucking slapped down, man. She gets the beat down put on her. And it stuck all the more because the one that's like hitting her like grabs her like, I always hated you. It's like, damn.
There is, okay, so Adam Eve has one of the strongest powers in this universe. Mm-hmm. And she needs to figure that the fuck out.
She seems to in the next episode.
Well, no, she kind of does. But then again, this is something that's already happened once before. She needs to figure out that she can do shit that could absolutely devastate / demolish anyone in her path if she just thought about it for 5 fucking seconds.
Yeah, and I think we'll get more of that in season 4. Like, for sure. Like, her power scale is going way up.
God, I hope so. Because
it has to.
We've had,
based on where we end?
We've had 3 seasons and a special, and it took until the next episode to find out that she could make the air denser. Are you serious? Come on. You can, like, between this and not realizing you can just turn things into gold and sell that to earn a fucking apartment, I'm starting to wonder, hey, Adam, do you really want to do this hero shit? Because it seems like you're really kind of like not thinking about your options here.
Yeah, for the most part, like in animation, her powers are treated like she's a Green Lantern.
And that sucks too. Like, I don't need Pink Lantern over here.
Like, I don't mind it if that were her power set, but it's not. She can manipulate matter.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing. Like, she makes these constructs, but they're torn through like glass. It's like, why are you even making them? Do something else. And
they do protect her, but it's. I feel like it's just a matter of like ease of animation, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, then again, this is also based off a comic, so that's.
Yeah.
It frustrates me because, again, like, and I think it actually only frustrated me more to see it happen in that next episode. Here we see all this fight go down. She gets tore up a bit, and Mark has to fucking go rage mode. How did that fight end? Gosh, I haven't seen that episode in a week.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I know, right? Keeping track of all the finer details has been a little bit difficult because there's a lot. So, okay, remember how I said that the pacing in the show has been a little bit rough?
Yeah.
This is one of those times where I understand that it's essentially 2 episodes, which is enough time to fit in like all of this stuff. But wow, we really kind of like tear through a huge monumental event, which frankly, and I know that the next episode happened and I'm glad it did because it was amazing, but this kind of feels like the season finale.
It kind of does.
Like a bunch of other Invincibles showing up last minute. This really feels like it was supposed to be the thing that was going to close out the season. And like looking at the comic, it's pretty obvious that nope, they couldn't just do that because we know what happens next, and that can't just open up season 4.
Okay, I just looked up a synopsis.
Okay,
because this is during day 2 when they fight. Essentially, what happens is Cecil deploys Reanimen to stall the other 2, so Mark can get Eve to safety.
Right. Yeah, that's man, the Reanimen. Oh boy.
Yeah, they're about to get a little power up too, it seems.
Man, Cecil.
But I mean, this is also the moment where it's like, no, we have to work together. Shut up, Mark. Put it aside. We'll save her, but we need your help getting this shit under control.
Yeah. Also, man, fuck Mark, which honestly is becoming kind of a theme for me because, god damn it, Mark is becoming a less likable character throughout this entire show, and it's making me frustrated because when he says, "No, I have to stay here in case someone comes for Eve."
Yeah, they know about this place. I need to be here.
Fuck you, you little idiot. No, go out there and like.
Yeah, he's lucky that at that very moment is when the Invincibles turn on Angstrom.
Yeah, he's very lucky. In fact, honestly, I'm pretty sure like thousands of people still probably died because he didn't just go out and do his fucking job. It kills me because once they're like, oh, but we have Angstrom leaving, and it's like, okay, now I'll go. for fucking real, bro, dude.
We do get a return of one of my favorite running gags in the show with the mummy.
Oh my god.
As they're fighting in the desert, it tries to possess one of the Invincibles. Finally, a suitable male host. Damn it!
Good
God,
stuff.
enjoy your eternal loneliness, you fucking
You misogynist fuck.
fuck.
Yeah.
I won't take that from a woman.
Yeah, the good shit. How do they live? How do they survive? What have they been doing down there? What the fuck?
I don't know. Eating scarabs? Maybe it hasn't been that long.
It's very much been that long.
I don't know.
It's very, very much been months. I don't know how they're alive. Maybe
Eating scarabs.
I guess they've been eating scarabs. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. While I was watching it, I was just like, wow, we're getting an entire. This is so much worse than Chicago. This is 11 Chicagos. Goddamn. And just watching it all like play out, and then for Mark to be like, no, I can't go out there. No, it
Yeah,
hurt
meanwhile,
a lot.
his brother ends up killing one of the Invincibles with like a group of other heroes together.
Yeah.
And like, so some of the Invincibles do go down, and like Darkwing drags one to a shadow, like to the Shadowverse where it won't return.
I want to know more about this best tiger, because he's like he looks. At first, I thought he was just another Invincible. But then he's just fighting, like, he's running around with his guns and the fucking blindfold. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, is he supposed to be like a Daredevil meets Punisher meets like Red Hood or something?
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. And I don't know. I apparently he's also just a character with his own comic. So
Yeah, a lot of Image comic characters just kind of end up in this, which is why Spawn was in the original run, I think.
yeah, which again, I'm just so sad we don't get him here. I'm so sad we didn't get him. We didn't get Spider-Man. It's a little sad.
It would have been hard for Spider-Man, but we got the approximation.
No, I get it. I understand. I'm still a little sad about it. I'm not mad. I'm just sad.
But yeah, the Invincible War ends when they turn on Angstrom. He's like, okay, I saw this coming. So everybody off to the desert dimension. Boom! Damn it. Angstrom! He can't hear you. That's the last we see of them.
Okay, I will say this about Levy. He's smooth as fuck.
Yeah.
Like the one thing he definitely has going for him is his move there is like, all right, well, done with this, and then immediately gets rid of them. Like, bro, okay.
Yeah, I saw this coming eventually, so.
To me, he's still not compelling, but he's definitely intimidating.
Yeah. And we, like, I'll be honest, his fight with Mark here at the end, I loved it. I thought it was great, because Mark has adapted to his tricks. He has new tricks that he has to fight against. And ultimately, he ends up winning. He ends up smashing him again.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out.
I mean, he gets away back to the mechanics or whatever the fuck they're called, the mechanic surgeons, and they're like, by the way, we put something in your head. You're not allowed to go against us. You're now working for me.
Yeah, and I love that. I love the fact that, hey, no, we had a deal. You weren't able to fulfill it, so you work for us now, bro. And
you're paying it off.
Technicians.
Yeah. I knew something like that.
Yeah, they had some cryptic name.
And we get probably the best cliffhanger we've gotten in this entire show so far when Conquest shows up. Stand ready for my arrival, worm.
Fucking. So, it's really interesting to me. The pacing of this, like we just had something that made Chicago look like bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm like, wow, okay, that is devastating. That's easily like ending. That is a season ender if I ever saw one. We should be taking seasons to recover from this.
Nope.
No. And in fact,
immediately into a bigger threat.
Yeah. And you know the first thing that I thought of when this happened?
Huh.
Fucking Godzilla 0 or -0.
Oh, yeah.
Because -0
or -1.
Or sorry, Godzilla -1. Because the entire idea behind that is this is what happens like when you're at your lowest and you're brought even lower.
Yeah.
We just had a fucking nuclear explosion and now here's Godzilla.
And goddamn, what a fucking episode. 4 out of 10 on IGN, but you know what? Fuck them.
Wait,
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry. What did you just say?
IGN rated it a 4.
No, you're
fucking sane.
You are kidding me.
I'm not. Insanity. Actual insanity. Like clear rage bait. Clear rage
What
bait.
in the fuck?
Right? Clear rage bait. Like they just want clicks. That is all this is.
Look, the lowest I could give it is a 7. Like the lowest, and that's like taking a lot of things that
That's if you take all of the nits that you need to pick and supersize them. Like only focus on them.
What in the absolute 4?
Yeah, dumbness. The dummies.
Honestly, looking at this, my first reaction was this has to be if I'd seen that, I would have assumed that IGN moved to 5 stars.
5-point scale.
But
Yeah, insane, right?
Yeah.
This episode's a fucking banger. Like starting from the cliffhanger, which gave me goosebumps. Like, you don't understand. This is all my fault, and all I want to do right now is hit something as hard as I can. I'm like, oh yeah, and just his reply, good.
I'm sorry, you shouldn't have told me about this fucking IGN thing.
I needed to. It needed to be addressed.
No, I don't understand. I'm reading the comments because I have to see how people are responding. I gotta get off of this. Wow. Fucking. How do you come away from this that put off?
I don't know.
Look, I've got my own problems with this season and with this ending because it definitely feels like, to me, this felt way too soon to have this. We've had this entire arc for...
I think that's kind of the point, though.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying we've had this entire arc for Mark throughout this, and to go from again, the Invincible War to Conquest is a little... Wait, we get no emotional downtime at all? We have no denouement? We're going right into another climax? This is a little much.
And but I think that's exactly the point.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because, like you said, Godzilla -1, he's at his lowest, and now everything that you've been leading up to this point, like, I mean, and Nissa showed up last season with that big emotional beat, threatening Amber and threatening the entire planet, saying like, hey, somebody's going to be showing up to make sure that you're doing the right thing, so be ready for that. And then here we are, directly after his lowest moments. He could not, defend himself morally against the person who believes he's responsible for Chicago. Then a bunch of him shows up and destroys the world. And now the enemy that he's been training for is here.
Yeah.
The first wave is here.
And he is way out of Mark's league.
So out of Mark's league. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, fucking, oh my God.
I just couldn't fucking... That performance is out of this world.
Chilling.
Yeah, the way he delivers his lines isn't a way I would have personally this is an actor. This is an actor acting.
Yeah, like, you don't understand. I should thank you. I was actually hoping you'd resist, because I didn't come here to take over your world. I came to destroy it.
Yeah, my favorite delivery is just "I'll tell you no such thing."
I will tell you no such thing.
Yeah, I love the way that he's just like, that's not me, man. And I'm like, oh.
He's so matter of fact about his cruelty.
Precisely. God damn, dude.
Him, like, when they get punched into space, blowing the bubble of blood, crafting it into a heart, then breaking it and slamming him back down into Earth. Fucking mood. Jesus.
Okay. Somebody I watched today, Johnny Chichillas, did bring up a point like, hey, wait a second. Was it Johnny or was it Sarcastic Chorus? I watched them both today, and they both talk about Invincible. Somebody I was watching today made the point of, wait a second. Do Viltrumites have the same, imagery for hearts?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, they know what a heart is.
Well, they
then again, they all also speak English.
Yeah, also that. But I honestly don't care. I don't care. That's not actually, that is
Such a good moment.
I'm not even picking that nit. That's just a funny thing. The moment itself killed me. I was like, this is the fucking best.
I'm like, I'm sitting there like he blows a bubble with the blood. I'm like, okay, what's he? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, the moment he did this.
Waits for it to freeze and then.
Yeah, the moment he did this, I'm like, is he shaping it? What is he? Oh my god.
Because he's so thankful for this fight. He's like, oh, finally, I get to cut loose a bit. Because he got sent here. It's just like, I was given no objective. I was just told, go there and conquer.
Well, no, he was given an objective.
Yeah,
Specifically.
but he was given no limitations.
Yeah. There were no mission parameters. Take the planet by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Fucking, oh no.
And he just he beats the brakes off Mark. Like, just trying to get him to like, okay, come on. I know there's something in there. Give me a goddamn fight. You said you wanted to hit me. Fucking hit me.
Yeah. And, oh god, the moment where he's like, hey, come on. You got this.
You got this.
You can still do this.
I
And I'm
believe
like,
in you.
yeah, like, fucking, hey, man.
Like, this is the definition of the enemy working against his better interests. Like, this is the shonen anime moment of, like, I am going to do this until you win. Or until I'm satisfied.
Yeah, so I am so sad that he and Battle Beast will never get to meet. Well,
I
at
am
least
too.
maybe. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, true. But damn, like he does everything he can to motivate. He's like, okay, what if I just, what if I rip through this city? What if, who's this purple kid? Oh, okay, I'll just beat the shit. God, he shows up, punches him. It's like, don't worry, we'll get a big ass beat down on him together. Shows up, slap, spike to the fucking ground, punches all of his teeth out, starts to rip him in half, slowly describing the process. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's So, violence against kids has often been like either off screen or very quick to where you barely actually catch it. And this was rough to watch. This entire episode is very, very rough to watch. Like, if season 2 felt like sort of a little bit of a reprieve from the ultra violence, season 3 was like, oh yeah, by the way, just so we're clear, we're not shying away from it. And it goes wild. It goes devastating, actually.
Watching him spit out all of his teeth was like, oh my god. And then, like, immediately afterwards to, like, slowly, like, as he's like, first you're gonna feel the stretch in your spine, then your muscles are gonna start to tense, and then your skin will be the next thing to start ripping. We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, and if you can focus through the pain, next will be your skin. Yeah, this will be amazing. And I'm like, oh man.
I'm like, damn. And Mark's just like, get out of here. Like, Cecil shows up. It's like, we'll protect him. It's like, like, you see the desperation. And Mark's like getting dragged around the world. We get the Chicago train scene on steroids.
Okay.
As he flies through that fucking beach.
I do have to say, I didn't need a repeat of that. It
didn't need it. You didn't need it. But the scale that they take it to as their sonic, like, God, they do so much just with atmosphere in this. When Mark's looking down at that pool of blood and he sees it shimmer, and you realize it's the pressure that he's exerting with his sonic boom.
Yo, by the way, fucking, they went off. The moment he, like the animation goes crazy there.
Yeah, when Oliver's trying to chase them as they're like, poof.
Yeah, and then after he gets knocked to the ground, and then he gets sent flying, and we just see the movement, like his hair is flowing, he's like flopping onto the ground. The amount of frames,
fucking
like,
gorgeous.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. God, I wish the show could have more, like one of these a couple times a season, and not just once a season, because it reminds me, like, one of the coolest scenes we ever got in season 1 was that fight against the Guardians with Nolan. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the next scene, I felt like the next time we got a scene that felt anywhere as close to as well animated was in the Adam Eve special. And then finally, in the finale of this season, we get another scene with some just off the walls, actually beautiful animation.
Yeah, and gorgeous, stunning.
Yeah, it's
crazy shit.
And again, it sells everything so well. It sells the power, it sells the weight, it sells this speed. It's so good. Like, I'm just over here. I was amazed. I was aghast. I couldn't believe how good it was looking and feeling. And I'm just, damn, I wish we could get more of that, because this episode pops off in that regard.
One of the best episode in the show, period.
Yeah. I really 4?
I don't know, man. Like, he gets beaten all the way around the world. Like, he's trying to motivate him. Like, come on, really, really hit me. And he gets, like, bits and pieces of that. It's like, it's not your rage that makes you strong, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, getting angry doesn't make you stronger. That's not how it works. Which I definitely felt like, sorry, Dragon Ball, that your rules don't apply here.
Anime logic, not here.
No, definitely not.
And Adam Eve finally wakes up. She's immediately like, oh my God, Mark's in trouble.
Yeah.
Need help. Need help him.
Adam Eve, you can't even walk. Do I look like I need to walk?
Yeah, that line goes so hard. Do I look like I need to walk?
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Okay, by the way, as much as I don't like Adam Eve and Mark as a couple, I fucking love Adam Eve as a character a lot. Despite any of the things I said earlier about how...
Look, I'm sure the relationship will develop more, but I love them as a team.
Oh, them as a team is actually way more interesting. I like watching them fight together way more than I like watching them fuck.
And I believe their relationship more than you do, but like, I don't know. I like the direction they take it, and when she shows up and she actually starts using her powers for real, fucking great. Like, she's still not a match in any way, shape, or form in her current state, but that she, like, when he's like attacking her, like she thickens the air. Great call. Love that use of powers. Wish she had been doing that more often. Maybe it's too taxing. Who fucking knows? Because she does seem very tired by it all. Like slamming him around with her Green Lantern powers. And when he's like diving, like about to dive through one, and she turns it into water, I thought that was a fun touch.
Yeah,
just like catching him off guard.
Yeah. Hey, you can fuck with the air. Why don't you make it, I don't know, fucking acid? Why don't you do something? God, there's so many things.
I was thinking about that while watching My Hero Academia with like Stars and Stripes, I think her name is. It's like, shit, her power's OP. How does she ever lose?
Yeah. So it's...
But yeah, so inevitably she gets the shit knocked out of her to the point where it's like, oh my God. Like, I know because I've been spoiled on some stuff in the comics that she's not going to die here, but she looks like she's about to fucking die here.
I knew she wasn't going to die because of the Adam Eve special.
The Adam Eve special is a prequel, isn't it?
Yeah, and it shows that she almost died and her body was like, no.
It's been, I forgot about that part. It's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah,
so.
her body like will keep her from dying unless it's like a full on, you basically got to immortal her.
Gotcha. Gotta like completely disassemble her.
And I'm not even sure, frankly, I'm not even sure that would do it.
No, either way, she gets like put the fuck down, and Mark is at his lowest to the point that he just self-destructs in his attack against him. Like, he's willing to, like, he goes full Deku, willing to break every bone in his body to put this man down.
Yeah.
Still not enough.
Nope.
So Adam Eve gets her rejuvenation on and just absolutely Dragon Ball blast this motherfucker.
Which is so sick. So sick. Love that shit.
Tears his flesh to pieces. Still not enough to put him down. So as he's like, I'm just going to go finish her off and make sure she's dead this time. Mark's like, no, I'm putting a fucking end to this. Break him, bust him, headbutt until he cannot get off the fucking ground. Leaves him looking like Angstrom.
Yeah, the fucking headbutt scene is so brutal. Oh my,
the screams with that,
and the animation and the art is so good. Oh my God.
But I don't want to skip over my favorite moment in that episode, which is just before that, where like, Eve's laying there dying and he's got him choked to the ground. He just leans down. I'm so lonely. Everybody is afraid of me. Conquest. They don't even give me a real name. Just a purpose.
Yeah.
That's so hard. It's like, take it to your grave.
Yeah, the line, no one wants to be my friend, made me laugh in a dark way. Because I was like...
the entire time, they're showing the scarred side of his face with no pupil.
Yeah. And it's like, oh shit, wait a second, is he serious? And then when you realize, oh man, he's actually kind of serious right now.
Yeah, he's being openly vulnerable, and it's like, take it to your grave.
Why would you tell me this? You would never tell anyone this.
Because I know you won't tell anyone. Exactly. It's exactly that.
I hate referencing our own stuff, but
it's exactly that moment. I know you'll never tell anybody this, so I'm just gonna get this off my chest.
And it's honestly, like, I was okay with Conquest just as he was, but that little bit where he's like
That peek inside,
Oh.
his actual internal struggle, where he's just being emotionally vulnerable for a moment after this moment for him, which is like, he's just letting loose, and now he's like, Mark to him, I think, is the closest thing he has to a friend.
there's this part of me deep inside that wants a moment where just like Mark gets this sad look on his face, and then they fucking they become friends. Like this moment where I would have absolutely died for that if Mark would have just been like, I'm sorry, dude, that sucks. And like Conquest is like, oh shit.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no, like I know that's completely out of never gonna happen. But damn it, there's that part of me that would have just because
that's such a great monologue.
no, it's so good. It's 4? Are you fucking serious? 4?
Yeah. No, the writing on that alone, the page must have been cindering. Like,
it's
fucking hell.
I hate.
Take
No.
it to your grave.
Yeah, no. Like the take it to your grave part could fully informs why he's talking at all. The fact that he's like the only person I could ever tell this to has to die.
Yep. Nobody can know this, but I need to get it off my chest. And you're another Viltrumite, so you know what? I'll tell you.
Yeah, fucking ape.
Amazing.
And the actor's so good. Fucking my god.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah,
He's been great in everything I've seen him in. I didn't watch much of The Walking Dead, but I have seen some Negan clips.
Oh, he was Negan. Okay.
Yeah, he was apparently he revived that show. Like it was in a slump, and then his character showed up, and I was like, okay, we're in. And they kept that character in longer than he was in the comics, from what I understand.
Yeah.
That entire show outlived the comics, but I stopped watching Walking Dead after season 3. So
yeah, same.
But I also really liked him in Supernatural. He was Sam and Dean's dad in that.
Oh, that's neat.
Pretty much everything I've seen or heard him in, I've really enjoyed his performance.
Yeah.
And this, no exception. I saw some people saying that maybe he and Clancy Brown should have traded characters.
No.
I mean, I love Clancy Brown's voice, but damn, Jeffrey Dean Morgan hit for Conquest.
Yeah, no. This performance was the best in the entire show so far. I'm really glad it wasn't Clancy Brown. I like Clancy Brown, but
it's absolutely up there. That monologue alone just hits so fucking hard. Like it's one of those monologues I want to study.
yeah, it's
Conquest. They didn't even give me a name, just a purpose. Fucking.
Yeah, it's good shit. And also it's a light into the Viltrumites' mindset of, wait a second, this isn't genetic. This is learned. All of this shit is learned.
And it hits even more knowing that there are fewer than 50 Viltrumites in existence.
Yeah.
So this guy literally is just lonely. And of the less than 50 remaining, none of them want to be around him.
Nope. And that's crazy. You got a group that small and everyone's like, nah.
I'm not. No, this is the weird guy. Send him off to the planets that need to be purged.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. Mark thinks he kills him. We learn that he's still alive. Viltrumites apparently you need to decapitate them, I guess.
Yeah, you got to remove that head.
Remove the head. Like, it's Highlander rules out here.
Like, remove the head.
How many brains does Mark have to smash?
It... Also, I'm sorry, like, fucking Cecil, you fucking moron.
I disagree with this one.
Yeah,
It's like, this place is rigged to explode if he even moves. He's encased in tungsten. It's like, okay, but as soon as Mark finds out about this, bro, like...
If Mark finds out about
Jesus.
this, he's going to be so fucking mad. And when Conquest wakes up and breaks out, you are the one who's going to have to suffer that. Because he's going to wake up and he's going to break out. And
other Viltrumites will show up and break him out.
Yeah.
Or maybe they won't. Maybe he is just that lonely.
You fucking morons. God, Cecil has taken a huge... Because I like Cecil when Cecil is being one of the smartest people in the room, even if he's not being the most moral.
Yeah, this is dumb as hell, because how do you intend to interrogate this guy? Because that's his motive. He wants to learn about the Viltrumite Empire. What do you think you're going to get out of this man?
Even if you can restore his head, even if you can do that, which I guess you've got Sinclair over here, who's now being voiced by Eric Bauza, sounding exactly like William, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
Even if you have Sinclair over here...
Oh, sorry. I'll say something after that. But.
All right. Even if you have Sinclair over here who can fix that head up to talk, you only need the head. You don't need anything else. Just keep the head. You've already proven that you can take the head off and put it on something else. Just do that. You dumb motherfuckers.
I don't know if you can reanimate him that way, but who knows?
But I mean, you've got Donald walking around as a fucking cyborg. He's got, I believe he's still got his brain in there.
That's a good point. Why not just take his brain out and put it in a weak robot body?
My fucking point exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? What? Oh my God.
Drop his brain in a simulation. They have weird technology.
Yeah.
I will say, with Sinclair, I do find it a little bit amusing that he has what appears to be a girlfriend that seems to match his freak.
Oh, yeah. No, the moment we saw her, I'm like, first of all, who the fuck are you? Second, hi, Grey Delisle. You are like now 3 characters in this show. Well, no, she's like every other fucking female character. I'm not bothered by it.
You get her in the booth, and she didn't have a whole lot else to record this season, so.
Except for Monster Girl and
oh, that's right.
Yeah, she's Monster Girl and Shrinking Ray, which is a little fucking weird. And also, like, she's just the female version of Sinclair. It's really funny.
Yeah. But yeah. So Cecil keeping him alive and encased, I think that made him lose a lot of points for me. Yeah. I kind of get where he's coming from, but at the other side, it's like, man, that is a massive liability. Like, you are taking way too much risk for what ostensibly will be very little reward, because they're coming regardless. You don't want to leave them a present.
I'm not even upset about the, like, I'm a little perturbed, and obviously Mark's probably going to flip when he finds out about the Invincible that he's putting together. But at least those are like, okay, we've basically seen that the Reanimen will just do whatever you tell them. So I'm not too worried about whether or not those are going to like turn on them or be a menace to Earth later. But still, like, oh, okay, fucking A. I get it. But damn, dude.
Yeah, we did see that some of like the earlier, like, the problem we're going to run into is Cecil says, like, I don't care what you have to do, get it done. We saw what happened with some of the earlier Reanimen, where they maintained some of their like sentience. Like they essentially like saw what they were and suicided.
Yeah, I think they fixed that problem though.
Yeah, but him saying, I don't care what you have to do, get it done, means they're going to be cutting corners.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, because, yeah.
And, of course, we're left with the montage of what you can expect next season. The little Martian brain crawler Starro things are still down in the sewer doing their thing.
God, I hate that whole plot line. I only hate it because it's like, damn, man, why are you still here?
Like, it's clearly a threat, but it's one of those, on the grander scale, kind of a minor threat.
It just feels like a remnant of prior plot lines. I'm like, aren't we done with you yet?
Yeah, it was one of those things where I saw, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. Just get this over with. Like, we have other things I'd rather be focusing on than this.
Yeah, but hey, their plot point might actually mean we get more Shapesmith. So
yes, and I'm here for more Shapesmith.
Mm-hmm. We see Battle Beast get picked up, and apparently, yes, all he does is he just goes into hibernation when he's out in space.
Just a little kitty ball in space.
I'm gonna wait till it's warm, like a little turtle.
And then the first thing he wakes up, he says,
"More. I want more."
I can't believe I didn't realize that was Worf until this season. I probably knew that beforehand, but finding that out, this like concretely putting that in my mind, I was like,
seeing him. I love seeing him just like floating there, surrounded by Viltrumite viscera.
I know, right?
It's like, okay, fight's over, sleep now.
I mean, I'm almost certain that's not how that would have worked, but.
Well, if they were traveling at the same momentum, they'd be in relatively the same space.
Yeah, but it kind of feels like he's ripping the guy apart. Like, those parts probably would have gone flying off in different directions.
You'll notice not all of his parts are there.
A lot of them are, though.
Yeah, chunks of them. There's a lot of chunks.
He was a very chunky guy. Mm-hmm. Also, Battle Beast can kill a Viltrumite. Very interesting stuff.
Very confirmed.
I want to see the fight between him and... If not Conquest, then Nolan. I want to see that fight.
I mean, there's like 30 some Viltrumites for him to go through if he wants.
There's, man, I'm very curious to see how Battle Beast turns out, because he's been one of the most weird characters in this entire series.
One of the most intriguing side characters for sure.
Yeah, he's always just kind of been in the background. He shows up every once in a while, and it's like, what is your deal?
Yeah, he showed up in season 1, and then we didn't see him again until now.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, where are we going with you? Because I'm so curious. Also, he's stupid hot.
He has to have his own comic, right?
I don't. You know what? That's a really curious question.
Because he's so cool. He's like if the Predator was a giant lion man, you know?
Yep. Invincible Universe Battle Beast #1. Okay, so I think he had like a
limited run.
Yeah, I think he had a limited run. Which makes sense. I mean, like,
he's so cool.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool character.
He's like, what if the Thundercats were a predator?
Ooh, that's a good way to look at that. Yeah, no, that's really curious. I might have to check that out for personal reasons.
Yeah. And let's see, what else do we see? We see that the technicians are like, hey, no, we want to bring our glory to another universe, so you're going to help us with that. So that's
they also pulled up, we have such sights to show you.
Yeah, they're clearly like Doom cross Hellraiser. And
very neat stuff.
Yeah, and we end with a I guess show exclusive story arc.
So you heard that too?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. It's like, yeah, this wasn't in the comics, where Damien Darkblood.
Yeah. Everything that I've watched some stuff and I've tried to stay free of spoilers, but everything I'd seen about like the show and how it's been adapted from the comics has been like, yeah, by the way, like Damien Darkblood, they kind of pumped him up in that first season, but he doesn't really come back.
And here he is, just shows up.
What the fuck?
It's like talking like, yes, I might have a way for you to take control of hell, sire. And
yes.
It's whether it's implied that like he intends to summon somebody into hell. Now, whether that's Invincible or whether like I'd be interested because the one character he's actually interacted with is Nolan.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it's supposed to be Nolan.
Because I don't think he ever met Invincible.
I don't know. I don't think they ever shared screen time with each other.
Yeah, because he mentions somebody that he wants to summon there to help his master, but I'm guessing there's an ulterior motive.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that it's Nolan. So,
yeah, but I guess we'll find out. Like that's the cliffhanger we're left on with that, and I'm just like, interesting, huh? So yeah, that's Invincible season 3. I will say that I liked it better than season 2. Not sure if I like it more than season 1. It's still too fresh. I know I like it more than season 2, but I'm not sure if I like it more than season 1. But it's in my mind, it's at least tied with season 1 to me in terms of quality.
It's definitely up there. I don't know about tied with season 1. It's probably a little bit below season 1. If only, and I'll say this. So The season 1 felt like a season of television with a complete story from beginning to end. Season 2 and 3 have struggled with that a little bit. I haven't felt like I've been getting these storylines, these arcs so much. We got the arc with Mark's character, which has been very interesting, and the place we leave him at the end of the season.
Yeah, where it's like, no, you were right, Oliver. I'm like, if anybody comes after you guys, I will end them.
Which, by the way, so I have to say this: as much as I do like heroes that don't kill, and as much as I appreciate the ethos of like, hey, we need to do everything we can before we kill a villain. There's an interesting dilemma that he finds of, if he lets somebody go and they come back and kill more people, is he not responsible for that? If the system of justice cannot hold these people accountable and you were the only one there, is that a matter of responsibility? And that's interesting to me, because if he had killed Levy,
No, yeah, that entire Invincible war wouldn't have happened.
But also, if he hadn't killed him and taken him to justice, then it also wouldn't have happened.
But how would you take him to justice? How do you imprison that man?
Look, I don't know. I mean, you could, to be fair with Levy, there are ways. They, could have made it forced him to use his power to get him back home. Could have then just had him put in a prison where he couldn't use his power. I'm not saying it's the better option. I'm not saying it's even necessarily a reasonable option. But I am saying there are possible ways he could have brought that down from there are ways that he could have de-escalated possibly. But then you have Conquest.
You can't de-escalate him.
Yeah, there was no de-escalating.
There was a moment where he tried to. He's just like, you think that's gonna work? What do you think you're gonna do? You think you're gonna talk to me?
Yeah, it's like, you think I'm gonna give you a chance to surrender? And
No.
I love that, because it's like, yeah, no, you gotta kill this. It's like,
There's no bargaining with Conquest.
Sorry, Steven, I think we have to kill this guy.
Damn.
Yeah, you fucking yep. It's just an interesting place where we leave Mark here, because I'm sure he's got a point of hey, some guys have to die. And
yeah,
you know what?
They don't really have an equivalent to the Phantom Zone that they can throw him in.
And frankly, I can't really argue too much with that.
Actually, I guess technically they do. Darkwing's dimension kind of seems to act something like that. But
except for that dimension has things in there that will eat you. So
throw the well, I guess that's also a death sentence, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But point
then
being,
again, that also means you can eat those things. So if you can survive,
yeah, that's also fair. But you have the scenario where there are just going to be times in this world where you got to kill a guy, and I can't argue with that. I the logic pans out, and I know there are a lot of people out there who are like, well, you can't take a life because then you're no better than the other. And I'm like, no, if someone's holding a gun up to my family and then the only way to stop them is to shoot that guy, I'm shooting that guy.
We've also seen him kill creatures. Where do you draw the line?
I think
some of these creatures intelligent.
Yeah. Also that okay, sentience is in fact where you draw the line. That Harkness test is a test for a lot of reasons. If a creature is functionally able to think and act, then you definitely have to take it. There is a level of care you have to take there. But yeah, no, it's interesting to me, because I don't think he's necessarily wrong, but I feel like the path he's going down, the way he's moving right now is bad. I think the logic and the way that and the attitude about it is concerning. And I'm really curious to see how that develops, because I was actually hoping to see his character develop in sort of another way. And now it feels like we're getting this negative character arc, and I'm wondering how that's going to pan out.
Almost makes me wonder if he's going to do something like that, and then maybe Invincible is the one that gets summoned to hell, and now he has to face his actual moral dilemma.
Oh God!
By facing the actual devil.
Okay, no, I really hope that's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm theory crafting, and honestly, this show has been very good about going against where I think it's going to go. So.
Yeah. Same. For better and for worse, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I realized?
Huh.
We didn't do a rundown.
We didn't, but we also recently did the Spider-Man, and I haven't done anything since.
Also, we've been talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And we didn't even get into Adam Eve's dad, who is just the worst.
What are we going to talk about with Adam Eve's dad?
Like he comes into focus again this season, where she finally has to come to Jesus. Like, look, you don't have to like that I have these powers, but you have to accept that I have them.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Meh." And meeting, and even her mom is like, you realize Eve has powers, right? God, dude's just the worst parents.
Yeah,
the worst parents.
Well, okay, the worst parent and the complicit parent.
Which makes her bad.
Well, it makes her bad. Doesn't make her nearly as bad as the dad, though. Because at least there's some pushback from her, and she's trying to smooth things over. He is just going full whole hog bastard every time.
But she also feels the same way. It's like, she has powers. Like, she sees it as an issue too.
Yeah, but I feel like she only sees it as much of an issue because everything's being projected. I think if she were not with that asshole, she would be way less fucked up about this.
Less fucked up about it, maybe, but still, she's, how she votes, right? You.
Oh God, don't ask me about voting right now.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about their family.
Yeah, it's true.
They are the worst. Unlike this season of Invincible, which is very, very, very good.
Which is second to worst.
4 out of 10.
The whole season. 4 out of 4. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
The guy. I'm not gonna say
too
anything
much
bad.
water.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about that fucking reviewer, but there is definitely a part of me that is like, dude, what do you think is good, and what do you like? I want to know what your metric is.
Again, I think it's clearly rage bait. I think it's clearly just there for clicks. It's gotta be.
Maybe. I never like to assume that. I never like to assume that it's rage bait unless it's some conservative grifting asshole, in which case it's almost always rage bait. So. Because I'd like to think that the people at IGN, while I might disagree with them, are at least trying to give legitimate insight and reasons into the reason that they believe these things.
They gave the Ring of Power fucking 8 out of 10 or some shit like that. I don't see this at all.
The Ring of Power?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings show.
Oh. I never saw it. I only heard bad
things
about it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy, so I couldn't tell you. But fucking A, man. Oh well.
Yeah.
But
either
hey,
way, good stuff. What you guys like it? You guys like Invincible? Who do you think's going to hell?
How would you rate this final episode? How would you rate this season? I want to know. Please tell me, because I'm actually really curious, because I feel like Invincible is kind of polarizing for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. That's why when I see this I'm like, maybe I get it. But then again, the fucking subtitle for it says the first actually bad episode of Invincible. So I can't even put that out there.
That's so wrong.
But I do know that Invincible is actually rather polarizing for most people. I know a lot of people who really don't like it, and other people who really love it. So I am kind of really curious to see, hey, how did you guys feel about the season in general? Because I want to know.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. I liked it. I'd binge it again.
For me, I'd say this whole entire season is probably, if the first season was kind of like an 8.5 for me, maybe even closer to a 9. This one's probably an 8, just a solid 8. Because
I'd say first and this season and first season are very close for me.
Yeah, I can see that. And then season 2 for me is kind of a 7.5 with some really good moments. There's some really good stuff in season 2. I don't want to take away from it.
It's still very much above the bar.
Yeah, when it nails it, it really rocks it. It's just, I feel like it was a definitely rocky season that had a lot of things that it was kind of it was the first one after that banger first season where it's like, oh shit, we have a more show to do. All right.
The second season was only really hurt to me by its weird mid-season break that I'm glad this season didn't have.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so glad that's not here. That was abysmal. That was Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
No.
Anyway, that's Invincible, and this has been us talking about it for over 2 hours.
My God.